Jeez.
All right, but back here at home, the House is debating legislation that would completely repeal the president's health care law, even though the Supreme Court ruled that it was constitutional. And, of course, the president said he would veto a repeal, but there is still a way for Republicans to take down the law. Joining us, thankfully, to explain it all, Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Texas taking the lead on this, huh?
All right. There is, for those of us who are gloomy and doomy about the court upholding the lion's share of the statute, there is an Achilles heel to it. The whole purpose of the statute, according to the president and its supporters, was to provide health care for everyone in the United States of America. One of the keys to that was the state health insurance exchanges, basically expanding Medicaid for people who can't get health insurance anywhere else. It would be paid 90% by the federal government, 10% by the states. The numbers fluctuate. That's a general ratio. That's the part that was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, because the Congress, when it ordered the states to set up these exchanges, said, set them up. If you don't, we not only will not give you the 90% on this, we're going to hold back the other Medicaid funds that we owe you. The court said Congress cannot threaten the states with such financial devastation as to impair their sovereignty as states. So Governor Perry is absolutely correct when he says it is lawful for Texas not to set up the exchange. So is Governor Christie. So is the governor of Florida. So is the governor of Michigan.
So what happens, Judge?
That's the $64,000 question. If the whole purpose of the statute was to provide health care for those who can't get it elsewhere, there are 17 million people who were led to believe they could go to these exchanges. It will exist in New York because a Democratic governor and a Democratic legislature want it. But in the vast majority of the country, the statute was challenged by 26 states. These exchanges will not exist. Who will pay for them? The federal government, which means taxpayers.
Okay.
Now, if the House has to appropriate funds for these exchanges and it refuses to do so, they will not exist. So this exercise in the House, though it appears just a political battle between Speaker Boehner and Minority Leader Pelosi, has real teeth to it, because the president after Election Day, whether he wins or loses, is going to come to the House saying, give me the money I need to fund the exchanges. And this House will say, no way.
Interesting. But now what happens if there is a change along the way? We have an election coming up. Anything can happen.
Well, if Mitt Romney is elected president, he has a lot of discretion as to how to enforce laws. Let's say Mitt Romney is elected president and the Democrats control both houses of Congress. What can he do alone? A lot, because there's a lot of discretion in the statute. For example, the IRS is in the Treasury Department. The Secretary of the Treasury is appointed by the president. He could basically say, you know what, those things that John Roberts says are taxes, they're really penalties. I don't feel like penalizing people in a recession, so we're not going to collect them. There's a lot of discretion that the president has.
Judge, I'm telling you.
There are different ways this could play out, Tracy. We just can't predict them. I'm trying to give you a menu.
And it's a good one. It's a good one, Judge. Judge Andrew Napolitano, he is the greatest.